Hey everybody, my name is Lisa Alarid. I'm here with Jonah, and we are doing a Anythink live stream on horror genre for the month of October. Before we begin with our favorites and just things that we really think that you guys should see, I want to remind everybody about the Nosferatu film that is going to be taking place on October 20th, which is a Friday, at Anythink Bennett, and it's going to be an outdoor film, so bring your blankets, bring your hot chocolate. We'll have some goodies there for you, and hopefully you guys can join us for that.
Is it the original or the remake?
It's the original.
Ooh.
Yes, yes,
More
it's going to
now.
be amazing.
Cool.
Yes. Okay, so Jonah, give me something that you got, man.
Okay, so I guess we're just talking about stuff that we have here.
Yes.
I'm going to start off with a kind of children, kind of teen book, but it's not in either section book. I'm the teen guide at Brighton. This book is The Thief of Always by Clive Barker. I think it's a children's book, but it's in the horror section, which means I'm definitely wrong. It's a beautiful book. I think it's like a really twisted horror Harry Potter. It's about a young man named Harvey Swick who's taken away to a magical world where the only price is actually very scary and very eerie. It's loaded with these gorgeous drawings that Clive Barker himself did. So
That was the thing that drove me to that book the
Oh, yeah,
most, was
yeah.
the fact that he drew those things. Yeah, it's great.
yeah,
Okay, that's a good one. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my list.
you're gonna love it.
Okay, my first thing, of course, is going to be The Shining. This is classic, people. It's based off of the Stephen King book. He, of course, did not like the film, which is fine. But this is good stuff, of course, about an author who is up at the Stanley Hotel here in Colorado, which makes it even more appealing that you can just go right on up there and get spooked. And just about his ways of becoming demented and how he tries to pretty much take out his family. Yes, during this film, it's bloody, it's suspenseful, it's great. So this was my first choice.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
That's a classic. That should almost be required viewing because everybody does that like
I agree.
31 Days of Horror.
Yes.
It should be like Shining #1.
You're not a horror fan unless you've watched The Shining.
Okay, so I'll meet you there. I also picked a Colorado horror tale.
Okay.
This is The Changeling, starring George C. Scott.
Yes.
It's a little slower, so this is one of those movies you want to have deep breaths through. We start the nights with this one.
Yeah.
It is about a man who loses his family and then goes to a mansion to recover and work on his piano. I don't understand how piano stuff works, so I'm assuming that's how it works in the world. But while he's there, he discovers a haunting that leads to a mystery. This is based on an actual haunting. Well, an actual haunting. I don't know. However you feel about that. That took place in Cheeseman Park. So if you're a fan of Denver history, this is especially illuminating, and not on the one that we carry, but if you can get a hold of the Scream Factory Blu-ray, there's a really cool special feature that dives into the history of this and also relates it to a really cool Colorado conspiracy. So check it out. It's really groovy.
Okay, I see your Changeling, Jonah. And most of mine that I brought in, guys, are based off of true events. To me, that is the scariest thing that you can possibly come across, is something that has actually happened to somebody or pretty close to what happened to somebody. So let's go with, let's see, what do we have here? Amityville Horror. Yes. So about a family that buys a home, obviously cheap for certain unknown reasons, and they slowly start to undergo changes that they're not sure of. The dad ends up trying to kill his family based off of true events from the Lutz family, which there's been speculation, whether or not their claim to what had happened in the house was real. I don't care really if it's real or not. It's fun to watch. So yes, Amityville Horror, the original or the remake with Ryan Reynolds is great.
Cool. I wish I had a really groovy theme like you did, but I love that yours is like a slow descent into the pure madness that you're hiding down here. So
Yes.
it's gonna be a real treat.
Yes.
So I'm gonna match that. So chaos is going to reign for a little bit because this is not a good movie in any shape or form. But it's available on Hoopla, which you can download stuff through.
Yeah.
We have it on DVD, and we have it on Blu-ray too. This is Wish Upon. It's a true story in that I saw this in theaters, and man,
I'm sorry.
I love this movie. It is so wacky. It was written by people who I don't think have ever met a teenager, and it was directed by someone who probably has, and it is just, there's a beautiful, the horror is non-existent, the gore is sort of there, but it's really just to see how absurd it gets. If you want to, this is a minor spoiler, the level of absurdity reaches its peak when there is a trio of young women watching one of their fathers play jazz clarinet, and they are swooning and they can't even stand up. So, you know, as you're dealing with extreme stuff, remember to lighten it up. And it's always good to watch a dumb horror movie because dumb horror movies are what grease the wheels to make good horror movies happen.
Yes, yes, I agree. Okay, then let's see. We'll go over here to The Strangers. This is one of my most favorite movies, probably because I live out in the middle of nowhere. So kind of, you know, gets really close to home and under my skin. This movie is based off of some things that happened to the writer as a child. You're home alone or with somebody, and someone comes knocking on the door, middle of the night, and they are looking for somebody who doesn't live there. They continue to come back, they start to traumatize you, and you're so far from anybody that you're pretty much just having to defend for yourself. And so masks, scary music, darkness, and
really intense relationship drama.
Yes, yes, it is so much fun. You have to watch this with the lights out. And if you have a friend that lives in the middle of nowhere, I would watch it at their house, definitely.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
I took a friend to see that, and I did not tell them it was a scary movie, like not on purpose, but and it's such a drama for the first half that when the horror does start, tell people because
it shocks you.
It's shocking.
It does.
What did you think of the sequel?
It was okay.
Oh,
it was okay. It was okay. It could have been better.
Oh, I loved it.
Really?
I did.
Oh, jeez. All right.
It's like Meatloaf music
Well,
set to a stranger's.
But they didn't have a lot of the, I think, you know, the scary stuff. That even the pop-ups and the.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have that.
See, okay.
They focused more on just the family and I'm so scared. You know, I would have liked to have seen the characters in it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Okay.
Do we have questions or anything? Cool. I'm gonna keep rip roaring then. So because I am a scaredy cat, I prefer movies where like good wins out in a way, sort of. So I'm gonna go with Train to Busan. It's as close to a family film as I think I'll put up here. It's South Korean. It was a massive blockbuster everywhere but I think North America, which is really sad because it's beautiful. There is a remake coming, but it's a story of a father who takes a train to Busan to I don't want to spoil the drama too much because South Korea is obsessed with soap operas. There's a lot of really massive soap operas, and if you watch them, it's not the same as soap operas we get in the States or in North America because the drama and the writing are so good. They just understand how to navigate stories so well, and that's brought to a zombie film. So imagine Walking Dead with just pitch perfect writing. There's just this one guy who, I don't know, I forget his name. I just call him the Beefcake. He's just this big, muscly dude, and he is the most wonderful character ever. You will cry at the end of this movie. It's so beautiful.
Oh, it's so good.
It's Train to Busan.
So good, so good. Yes, I love that movie. Okay, let's see. What do I have here? I think Psycho, of course. This movie is based, well, it's not based off of a true story, but it was inspired by Ed Gein, who was a serial killer, who was a little bit obsessed with his mother, I would say, and he liked her skin, so let's just stop there. And so Anthony Hopkins decided to turn this into a film. It's great. It's got, not Anthony Hopkins,
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes, Alfred Hitchcock. Sorry, I'm mixing them all up. But anyway, so it's hotel out in the middle of nowhere, again, which is always spooky, and then a son who is trying to prove himself to his mother and get over his obsession with her. There's great music with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cheesy to watch now, but it's so fun. Yes, definitely watch that
Yeah,
one.
and save future generations. I think The Shining has been ruined for future generations because everybody knows a lot of the beats now.
Yes.
So I would say, I would say if you're a parent, it's not worth it. You're
No.
gone, you're done for.
Yes.
But your kids, don't spoil the ending of The Psycho for them. Let them experience
Yes,
it. It's
yes.
so good.
So
Save
good.
future generations. Let them
Yes.
actually experience it. Because
Yes.
they used to say you could not leave the theater and you could during Psycho, or you couldn't come in after the first 30 minutes because they would
Yes.
block. I mean, I don't know that they actually would, but
Yes.
it's a cool thing to say.
Well, and I was telling Jonah before this that actually in the documentary about how Alfred Hitchcock came about doing this movie, he talks about that and how there was no entrance after a certain point because of that. So yeah, it's great. It's great. All right, what else you got?
Ooh, this is tough. Okay. I was gonna save this one. I might lead you into one.
Okay.
So this is a movie you might need a shower after, which is my kind of horror. It's called Alice, Sweet Alice. If you're a fan of Brooke Shields, I think this is Brooke Shields' first performance. She plays a young woman at her first communion. Can't talk about it anymore after that, but there is mystery and intrigue. The director is one of those really beautiful people who should be making horror exclusively. I think he only did one film, Alfred Soul, sorry.
Okay.
Alfred Soul, he did this, and he just is a set designer, but he used real interesting people from New York to populate the story. So after a while, upon rewatch, the world has so much to it, and the suspense is great. The kills, if that's what you're into, which I am, are top notch, and it's such a shock. Highly recommended. Alice, Sweet Alice. You should thank all of your AnyThink librarians for getting this and having this in stock.
I can't believe we have it. It's
Beautiful
great.
movie to have.
Yes, very good. Okay, so we have a question. Do you have any Tim Burton recommendations? All of them, people. Corpse Bride is great. Love Nightmare Before Christmas. What do you like?
I would definitely. Oh man, yeah. That's like. Yeah.
Even his remakes of Alice in Wonderland
Yeah.
are fun because those are dark and twisted.
Yeah, I think you if you saw it when you were little, or if you haven't seen it, give Beetlejuice a rewatch because it is perfect.
Yes.
And also, to nerd out about our collection again, I didn't bring any up here, and I'm so sorry. There is a writer named Malcolm McDowell. He is phenomenal. He's a horror writer. He's passed away, which is really tragic, but he wrote some of the best weird, out there horror, and he inspired Tim Burton so much that Tim Burton and Michael McDowell worked together to write the script for Beetlejuice.
Oh.
So Michael McDowell, we have the Elementals and his other series, which I can't remember, but Michael McDowell, if you love Beetlejuice, you love Tim Burton, that's a good thing.
Okay, yes, Tim Burton's great. Okay, all right, so then we're going to start going into some of my other ones. We will do Open Water. This is a great movie. You wouldn't think so, based off of true events from a couple that went on vacation, decided to do some diving, see some coral reef, and ended up getting left behind. The boat leaves, and now they're trying to survive in the open water. If you are like me and you don't like to be under the water when, I love Jaws, I love all these movies, but as soon as the camera goes underneath the water, you're like, uh-oh, here it comes, it's happening. Yeah, this is really good. It does the above bobbing and then slowly going, oh God, it's good, it's good. There's 2 and 3 to it, which I don't think are as great. Jonah, you might like it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Okay.
Yeah, but the first one is definitely really good. Watch that before you go on a vacation to the beach, I think.
Yeah, that is a really haunting one because there's no resolution. Really.
No.
It's just nope.
No.
Good luck.
Yeah, there you are, out in the middle of nowhere with no resources. What do you do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I love it.
Yes.
So speaking of couples, The Invitation. If you haven't seen this is really interesting. I was trying to bring up some more recent stuff. I believe this is available other places
I think it's on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix.
Yes.
I think it's on Hoopla, but double check that. But we have it on DVD. Karen Kusama. Karen Kusama directed this. She did Girl Fight, I think. I don't know. I'm messing it up.
Oh.
Anyway, really beautiful film. I like this movie because I think I'm at an age where I can't really relate to a lot of horror plots anymore. I will never have a magic genie in a high school that gives me magic wishes. But I will be invited to a dinner party by weird friends who may or may not be involved in an evil organization. And this movie is terrifying.
Yes.
The ending in particular, like it's. I watch a lot of sick things. I'm sorry, but the ending actually made my stomach drop. So I highly recommend it. This is and it also, you know, there are very few. Karen Kusama, very few female horror directors. So the ones that we do have, we just gotta like see everything they do and talk about how sweet that is and how we need more of it. So definitely this one, super
Very
strong.
good,
That's
yes.
my only one. I'm sorry.
Okay, then my other one is also gruesome. I also like gruesome. I will not apologize for it. Love me for who I am. This is Wolf Creek. Takes place in Australia, which that place alone is horrifying. Have you guys seen the animals that show up there? No. So Wolf Creek is based off of not an actual event, but just the whole idea of all the missing people.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the bush.
yes.
Yeah.
So friends that end up going to Australia, they're doing a road trip, car breaks down, and someone comes to help them out. It is, it's pretty gruesome. You got to have a strong stomach for this one. There's a lot of gore. It's
And a phenomenal performance by the lead, Jeff Jarrett. He's
Yes.
like the epitome of, like, just tops it all. I can't think of, well, I can think of one more, but
who?
I can't say I can. But I can, but yeah, it's a truly a phenomenal.
Yes, he will make you never want to go to Australia. His character alone, which he's an amazing actor. If you follow him on Instagram, he is the exact opposite, thank goodness, of this guy. But his character is spooky.
Yeah.
Exactly what you would think a serial killer in Australia would be like.
Anytime you see, like, anytime a script calls for meat hooks, you know you're in for a
You're in
treat.
for some good stuff, people. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't eat dinner during this movie.
Yeah, it's very much in that, like, Texas Chainsaw vein, really
Yes.
extreme. I think Toby Hooper said something really great when he was, like, asked what Texas Chainsaw was about. He said, it's not really about any specific message, just what a lot of people don't realize in the rural parts of the world.
Yeah.
There are people who will eat you alive if you're vulnerable. out there.
Yes,
So
yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I enjoyed that. Okay, what else you got? You have a graphic novel there.
Oh, I think I have a question. Ooh.
Oh. What was the first horror movie you saw? Oh, gosh. Mine was probably, because I'm so old, probably Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, that was probably mine. Scared me half to death. I love Freddy Krueger.
Oh.
Amazing.
The classroom scene is still pitch perfect.
Oh.
You can't get any better than that classroom scene.
Oh, coming down the hall and just, no, thank you. Yeah, that was probably my first one.
I think it's a tie between Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, which has always like really informed my understanding of horror.
Okay.
Just like I don't know. I think you got all the monsters at once.
Okay.
So like, how do you top that? And like always looking for like perfection, and also Lost Boys. I was and still am a
Yes.
huge fan of Lost Boys.
Why don't we have that up here?
I know.
The soundtrack
The
from
soundtrack
Lost
is
Boys.
so good.
I know.
Lou Graham from Foreigner.
Yes,
He sings the theme song called Lost in the Shadows. It's so good.
it's good. You guys got it. If you don't watch that, and watch it with your kids, it's fun. It's good. It's not too gory. That's a good one to watch.
I also love when you do the POV of the monster and makes the audience feel like the monster. And I think
when
Evil
they
Dead-
do the downward
yeah,
dives.
when it goes
and-
down to like look up. and like,
Yes, yes, under the bridge.
under the bridge.
Oh, let go, Michael. Okay, books.
Books.
Yes, we do have books. So I'll start with mine. I love Stephen King. Love him, love him. He's my favorite author. He has a new book out, which is available at Anythink right now this month. It's called Flight or Fright. And this book is a collection of short stories and poems that he's collected over a short period of time that are nothing but airplane. So you look out your window, you see a creepy little dude, very Twilight-like, Twilight Zone, and then there's also just the pilot might pass out and what happens, or you wake up and everybody else is gone, just things I think that people who have a fear of flying, or if you don't, it just makes you think about it. I listened to it, I didn't read it, I listened to it on audiobook on Overdrive, and it's so great, so great.
I'm going to fight not to mumble because I could not get it up here in time. But there's a really fantastic horror book. It's a quick read. I would say read it in one sitting. Don't mess around. It's called I'm Thinking of Ending Things. And it's about a young woman who's taking a road trip with her boyfriend. And it just starts with the line, I'm thinking of ending things. She visits his family, goes through a tour of his hometown. As she goes, she realizes that he might not be who he says he is. But then as the book goes on, there's a lot of twists and turns. It's so bizarre. If you do read it and you want to get out to Brighton anything, just like say anything to us because like the whole staff will explode because I made everyone read it and it's really freaky. It's so beautiful. Read it. It's good.
Okay. Okay, good. I like that. I will try that. And Bennett, that is your challenge to read a spooky book with me because I have nobody there other than Kirsten that would probably do that. So
yeah, read. I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll see if someone will read that.
We dare you, Bennett.
Okay. And then you have another book up there.
I do.
You did that one. No,
did
you
you?
didn't. No, you didn't. I'm
this
sorry.
is The Case of the Missing Men. This is actually my own personal copy because I've been begging people to read it, and a lot of people have. Highly recommend it. I know it seems so corny, and when you pick it up, you're going to want to put it down immediately because it doesn't look like a horror book. It looks like a Hardy
It's like an old school mystery book.
Yeah, it does, and it is, which is so beautiful. So imagine if David Lynch did a Hardy Boys book. So really capable teens dealing with supernatural threats plus killers, and it is so awesome. And the freak, can I run up there? Can I like throw something in front of the camera? Yeah, check this spooky thing out. If you think you can handle it.
Uh-oh.
The best horror masks of all time. Am I in frame? Yeah, look at that. It's those like paper plates with like strings and weird drawings on it. It's so freaky. I love this book. You should read it.
Okay. All right, guys. So we got through, I think, just about everything. I hope we gave you guys some things to think about, some new ideas to check out. I think we covered the whole range of horror. I had fun. You gave me some ideas, and I hope that I gave you some things.
Oh, wait. One last one.
Oh,
The Way Home in the Night. It's a children's book. I got this so that, like, if you got too freaked out by any of this, it's a beautiful book. There's nothing really scary about it. It's just a quiet walk home at night. It's by Akiko Miyakoshi. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. It's a beautiful book about going home at night and wondering what people are doing. A lovely way to close out October, especially if you're watching some of these horrific things.
Yes, read that to your children at night, maybe. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did. So go out and enjoy some of these horror things in October, and we'll see you next time.